to a new video. In this new video we are going to talk about how it's changing the market of digital books nowadays. So there are other methods of payment that are being used in the music and audiovisual market that involves now downloading a copy to the user's computer. For example, with a password access to streaming or other system whereby the product is accessed without any copy being made by the reading device. This option is called Books in the Cloud, and the customer does not own his own copy but has guaranteed access to the one stored in the internet. This is a proposal of Google Editions expected at the end of 2010, and this solution entails a change in the concept of property due to the fact that one does not own a copy of the book but only the access to it. With this system, Google allows access from any device with an internet connection. Google accounts thus become a payment gateways as they are linked to the customer's credit card information, so that in principle bottling an illegal access to the book would be adverse. Generally speaking, what the large communication companies are trying to achieve is to control the process from beginning to the end. Amazon and Apple promote proprietary formats, so that's the very same companies are in charge of the selling of contents, while taking care of this can only be read or reproduced using their own device and none other. So now let's going to talk about the digital distribution of these books. So the main issue for publisher is that they need a technical medium that can provide a secure service for economic transaction, for the computation of authorial and editorial rights, and that guarantees a single access to the book copy independently of the sales method from the editor's website, the distributor of the booksellers. If different copies exist depending on the point of sale, then there are too many possibilities of the system being breached. There are different solutions to this need. The large media groups have chosen to confront them using their own resources. Also, given the magnitude of the initial investment, this must be done by associating with others. This is the case of the platform Libranda, that includes among other Planeta, Santillana, SM, and another ones. And smaller companies have created a structure such as Edit.cat. Moreover, other companies have emerged, such as Publidisa in Spain or Hachette Group Numlum in France, who offer their services to publishing houses that do not have their own platforms. The fact that a great technical capacity is required, as well as password encrypting and security systems, means that these companies have a certain hemogenic power, as other publishing houses without those capabilities must resort to them, and this is why they can apply outrageous markups, which are currently on the same level at the rates of traditional distribution in bookstores. Digital providers are asking of the first 50% of the sales price, which is evidently excessive. Some voices from the publisher's guild are demanding the establishment of their own shared platforms to be managed by the Editors Association themselves to prevent the imposition of these rates. Google Editions, judging by insider comments along with Amazon and Apple, have been accommodating rates around the 30%, although debates regarding to these topics are far from over, which still is much higher than the calculated cost for the traditional distribution up to now. The distribution of traditional books keeps the 20% of the price, whereas bookstores keep the 30%, increase it to 38 or 40% in shopping malls and hypermarkets. Where digital distribution cannot be considered cost-free, it cannot be compared to its traditional counterpart precisely because of the cost that burden the latter. The transport, the logistics, the storage, the sales for, etc. So the position of supremacy of large technology groups is imposing a deformed view of the logic of commerce. If up to now a series of costs were included in the retail price, these were justified by more or less tangible facts, the physical cost of distribution, the absolute dependence of the final point of sale. Although technology generates costs for its implementation, maintenance, etc., but they are unfairly lower than those generated by traditional formats, as opposed to what happened or could happen up to now with the internet paper book sales. Selling digital books is a fully automated process. Know that there will be just one point of sale, at the point of access to the internet, and it will be not located in different places, with at stake strategic supremacy, so that the customer will naturally access the point of sale via a particular website or also using a particular device if strategies such as Apple succeed. From there on, getting a rate of 30% or higher becomes some kind of transfer fee or banking commission rather than a compensation for actual costs. It is the hands of publishing companies to fight this and thus forbid such unjustified price tampering. Therefore, the book publishing sector finds itself in a state of uncertainty, a situation made worse by the previous policy of disregarding the problem until it hits you in the face. There is a passive fear of sending files to different platforms, a fear of the possibility of losing real control over sales, and there is also the fear, for obvious reason, of the fact that if some sort of value is added to the digital book in the technical platforms, it may happen that such value becomes the platform's property and not the publisher's one. On top of it, there is not standardized method of payment to authors. So now let's go into talk about print on demand. There is an intermediate model in the book market that could be very viable solution for the coexistence, which could be temporal or definitive, of the pure digital or electronic book and the traditional paper book, namely POD, which stands for print on demand or publish on demand. It is in pure version is the combination of the electronic book in PDF format and its printing to standards comparable of those traditional offset printing. This model is already used in several countries such as the United States of America, Great Britain, and Germany. The model was falling up to now due to the expense of copy-by-copy digital printing, but state-of-the-art presses now make it possible to have prices comparable to those of the traditional books, at least if the higher actual cost per copy is compensated with obvious savings in other items, including the price of the book, like transportation, storage, and inventory costs. Alongside today's most widespread system, especially convinced for selling a writing, for instance, websites like as Lulu.com, Bobak.com, etc., which are also offering their services to publishing houses. A new alternative places a virtual display window inside the bookstore, which gives access to a catalog of digital books that can be bought by the customer, just like traditional books. So if she or he decides to buy one, it can be printed on the spot shortly thereafter, using a machine that can produce bound copy of the book at the cost of a quality that it is comparable to the traditional printing. Although, for the time being, this system is used only for very specific works. In the near future, technical advances will allow a compressed catalog of books ready to be printed. This will do away with the concept of our print books, as well with the unfeasible distribution cycle, and the number of prints and return in those will be reduced, as well as transportation, and the work is done directly from the interested readers, who can be as many as could otherwise be reached in the traditional book market, or even more. This technology will help the subsistence of bookstores functioning as book promoters, because the terminals will serve as the double purpose of selling bound copies, as well as the digital counterparts to be reading using ebooks or the like. So the digital book is a noticeable trend in the last few years, and the editors have been following the advice of ensuring that they have the digital rights to work. Since many of the extant works in their catalogs did not include the realists of those rights, they are recommended to demand universal rights for all media, and given how changeable and unpredictable are in the formula of any existing and yet to be invented media is included, which is of the current Spanish legislation and with the minimum temporal and territorial limitation. So hope you have enjoyed this video, hope you have learned with this information, and see you in the next.